Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Liam Douglas here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the new macOS 26, also known as macOS Tahoe. Apple's doing a lot of revamping of their operating systems this year for iOS, macOS, tvOS, HomePod OS, watchOS, Vision Pro OS, and they're also renaming all of them to maintain better consistency by calling them all .26. Which references next year, since the operating systems are officially launching this fall. But before we get into all the new changes in macOS 26, let's go ahead and roll the intro. Okay, so here we are booted up in the new macOS 26, also known as macOS Tahoe. And if we go up to the top here, we can click on About This Mac. You can see the version information down here where it says macOS Tahoe 26. So let's look at some of the changes in this new operating system. So just like with iOS 26 and iPadOS 26, Apple has added the liquid glass. Now, one of the things I really like about this, if you notice at the top, the menu bar here at the top is now invisible. So you can no longer see it, but all of the items that are normally there are still there, like your Apple icon, all of those things. Over here, you can have weather, your amount of RAM free, any apps that launch on startup, as well as your Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Time Machine, all of that good stuff. Now, another thing you may notice here is that the icons have been revamped a little bit. See, this is the new icon for Time Machine. It does look quite a bit different than the older version, which I really like. And you'll see some of the icons down here at the bottom have been revamped a little bit as well. Now, I don't have it currently turned on, but let's go ahead and go to the liquid glass effect, because I really, really like that. I like having the transparent icons and all of that good stuff. I just think it looks cool. But as you see, we have default, we have dark, we have tinted. If you want to have your icons be tinted and everything on your desktop tinted, you can do that as well. And then we have clear, of course. And of course, being this is still a beta, it's a little bit slow sometimes to apply the changes, but that's normal. Like I said, this is a beta. It's not a finished product yet. I'm currently running macOS Public Beta 1, which is the same as Developer Beta 4. So there we go. We go to that. And if I go down to menu bar, here's where you can turn on and off all of the options that show up in the upper right hand menu bar here. If you want them to show up there as icons for quick access to them. And of course, we have Apple Intelligence and Siri. Almost everything else is more or less the same. They've revamped some of the menus, some of the subsections and stuff like that, but I just really like the new design. Now, this is the current wallpaper that I'm using is the default macOS Beta Tahoe wallpaper. It is a dynamic wallpaper. So you see that there. And then they do also have this Tahoe Day, which is a nice scene in Tahoe. And when your computer is locked, the water in the scene will actually move. I'm not going to switch to that one right now because you have to download it, and it takes it a few minutes to download. But I just wanted to give you an idea of that. And you can see the changes with the liquid paper up here at the top. You see, it's kind of hard to see when you're in light mode, but it's a little bit, there's just a little edge trace there. And down the sides, that's part of the liquid paper effect, or the liquid glass effect, excuse me. And you can see how all the icons are as well. They've been revamped just a little bit. Not a tremendous amount. I do have them zoomed in so they look bigger for this video. I normally keep my dock and icons extremely tiny because I know where everything is and I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. But let's go ahead and do a quick screenshot. So I'm going to screenshot my current desktop and we're going to save it. And then we have it here and we're going to open it up in preview. Now, one of the new options in preview is you can have it remove the background just by clicking this icon here. So if I click that, you'll see how it removed the background. Now, it's not absolutely perfect yet. You can see some remnants still there. But you can click it multiple times and have it continue removing background objects and so on and so forth. So that's kind of cool. That's a new feature in the preview app, which is really neat. I think it's really cool to see that Apple has been adding new functionality to their existing apps. I just think that's really cool. And another thing that they've done, let's go to, oops, nope, I hit the wrong item there. That's not what I wanted. Oh, come on, close back out, you little bugger. Okay, let's say reopen with preview, and then we can close it a little more quickly there. What I was trying to do is bring up the Spotlight search. Now, as you see here, they revamped Spotlight search as well. So you not only have the Spotlight search taskbar or search bar, but you have a link directly to applications, to files, to actions, and as well to clipboard. Now, one of the things that is new in macOS 26 that I really appreciate, because I normally used a third-party app for this, is the clipboard is now good for 24 hours. So anything that you save into your clipboard, you can go back to the clipboard app and you can re-access those copies into the clipboard for 24 hours. And then every 24 hours, it clears itself out. Now, I wish they would give us an option to save the clipboard history a little bit longer, like maybe 7 days or something like that, or 30 days. I know some of the third-party clipboard apps do allow you to do that kind of stuff. And it would be really cool if Apple would think to add that feature as an update to the new clipboard macOS app by the time they do the final release later on this fall. Now, again, as I mentioned before, this is a beta operating system. I'm running the macOS 26 public beta. The finalized version of the operating system will be out later on this fall, and it's going to be a huge update. I know a lot of people are really excited. Just because it's going to be such a big change cosmetically and functionality wise from what we currently have. And you can see the changes to the Mail app as well. You got your primary up here. You can try categories. You can scroll over here. You can have like promotions and so on and so forth. You can go to all mail, all of that good stuff. So I really like the categories for the Mail app. I think that's kind of cool. And if we go to Safari here, we'll pull up a website. Let's say we'll just go to apple.com. And so you can see the liquid glass effect around the buttons and the title bar up here at the top on the browser. I just think it looks really cool. It's kind of elegant. I like how they more rounded off the corners of the web browser instead of leaving it with sharp 90-degree angles in the corners. I really like the fact that they've rounded that off. I think it just looks really nice. And of course, the web browser works very smooth and fluidly, considering, again, like I said, this is still a beta OS. And there are a considerable number of bugs in the operating system still, but remember, we're still early in the development process. So there'll be multiple betas over the course of the summer and into early fall. And then Apple will at one point later on, probably sometime in like the second week of September, maybe the first week of September, they'll release the RC version of all of their 26 operating systems, iOS, iPad, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And the RC, which stands for Release Candidate, is basically the finished version. Usually they release the RC candidate to registered developers and public beta testers, and then they'll do that usually a week before the official release version is released to the entire public. So just something to keep in mind there. I really like the changes to the weather app as well. I think this looks a lot more elegant. I just think it's a lot more beautiful. And with the appearance here with the liquid glass, as well as just the way that they rounded everything out, I think it makes it look a little more elegant. You can see the current weather here in Roxborough. Elmira, New York is up where my kids and grandkids live. And then Athens, Pennsylvania is where my mom and sister and the rest of my family live. So, but I just think this is a really beautiful weather app. I think it's very well done. Let me click on the calendar here. And so this is the calendar. Not massive changes to the calendar other than the cosmetic appearance stuff. And again, I'm running the light theme, which usually I prefer the dark theme myself. I've been running that on most all of my devices since Apple gave us that ability. But I thought it'd be easier for you to see, some of the different things in this beta version by having it on the light theme instead of the dark theme. I just thought that'd make it a little bit easier for you. We can take a look at what the new Maps app looks like, and we can enable notifications for it. And I mean, just look at this. This is absolutely beautiful. I think this is a very elegant version of Apple Maps. I think it looks extremely nice and is well done. But just to give you an idea, and then of course it zooms into the different views when you select something like that. And of course you can change to the different appearances, satellite view, 2D map, 3D map, blah, 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 all that good stuff. But it does. I mean, just look at this. I personally love the clear icons. I think they look really, really cool. And I like the fact that Apple has given us the ability to have all the icons clear. I think that's just really nice. And I do appreciate that they thought of that to include not only their native apps, but also apply that effect to third-party apps as well. I just thought that was really cool of them. Here's the Apple TV app. And as you can see, I haven't launched any of these apps since I did the update to macOS 26. And you can see here, they've revamped the Apple TV app quite a bit. I like that they made all the cards portrait now. I think that cleans things up, makes things a lot neater. When you get down to the sports stuff, of course, they have the landscape thumbnails for, sporting events and stuff like that, because you usually have team against team and all that good stuff. But for the movies and TV shows, I like that they went to the portrait cards for all the thumbnails for those. I just think that makes it look really nice and neat, keeps things a little more compact and a little better organized. So I really appreciate that. You'll have to let me know in the comments down below if you like it or not. Let's go into something else here. Okay, Apple Music here. And of course, I haven't, like I said, this is my first time launching Apple Music. So we got Apple Music up here, and you can see the translucence on the controls down here. That's part of the liquid glass. That's why I wanted to open this app, especially so you could see the player controls down here. I just think those look really, really nice. And we can zoom in a little bit here, and you can see Apple Music Mix. You can just see how nice the controls look down here in the dock. You can't see the translucence effect quite as much when you got the light theme turned on. But again, I just wanted to show you, give you an idea of what everything looks like. Now here you can see it a lot better, especially with the cards moving behind it with the darker colors. And you can see that a lot better. The controls just look really, really nice. And I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, I think it's a really cool theme. I think it's something that most people are going to really enjoy. And they with all the changes and improvements they're making to macOS for this fall. So again, I think with all the changes and updates and enhancements that Apple is making across all of their operating systems for this fall, I think it's going to be a very exciting time to be an Apple products user. I know I'm looking forward to the official release of all these operating systems, even though I am running the beta of macOS on this machine, which is my podcasting machine, and I'm running iOS 26 on my primary iPhone and iPad OS 26 on my primary iPad, which is the 13-inch M4 iPad Pro. But that's it. Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. Are you excited for these new operating systems? Have you been trying any of the public betas out for yourself? I would love to hear down in the comments below. And I will see you all in the next video.